Hey there and welcome back, or if you're new to my channel, my name is Katie and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living, and tonight we are going to make some Natchitoches meat pies. I have not made this recipe in about 20 years, so I don't even know where it popped in my brain the other day that I should make this for you guys. So we're going to make this for dinner tonight, and Natchitoches is a little town just north of central Louisiana. Like Alexandria is kind of like the center, and then Natchitoches is just north on the Interstate 49. If you've seen the movie Steel Magnolias, that is the town that was filmed in, and they are famous for their meat pies. You can get them at gas stations and restaurants, anywhere up there. So we are going to make those tonight, and those are a pork, ground pork filling, and it's uses a pie crust, and it's usually deep fried. We're just going to pan fry them today, but if you want to do a healthier option, you could just bake them in the oven if you'd like. But we are going to pan fry them today so we get them the extra crispy yumminess. This is very simple. I have this recipe. I don't know where my mom got it from, but I wrote it down, like I said, 20 years ago or whenever I made this the first time. And it's literally the ground pork. We're going to double the recipe, and I'll leave the ingredient list in the description box. Ground pork, a small onion chopped. I did one large onion, some roux, and chicken broth, and salt, black, and red pepper, and your pie crust. That easy. And I'm using store-bought pie crust today to make it even easier. If you'd like to make your own, go ahead and do that. But we are getting this together quick, and I don't know, just having a quick dinner. And also I'm roasting some asparagus in the oven. I got some asparagus today. I drizzled it with some garlic infused avocado oil. There is a short or video somewhere. If I can find it, I'll link it in the description box, where I've made some garlic infused avocado oil. I drizzled my asparagus with that. I sprinkled some freeze-dried garlic powder on top and some salt and pepper. And that's it. We're gonna roast it on a high temperature in the oven. And then I'll sprinkle some Parmesan cheese at the end. So that's gonna be our green for tonight to go along and get a little bit healthy with our meat pie. So we will get over to the stove. I've already chopped my onion, and so we are just ready to go. So here I have my cast iron skillet. I have it heating up on medium high, and we're going to throw in 3 pounds of ground pork. And we'll get this browned up. We're gonna get some salt in here. This is 3 pounds of meat, and my chicken broth, I didn't really put salt in the chicken broth when I made it, so we're gonna start with 2 teaspoons of salt, and of course later we'll taste test it and see if we need to add some more. So I'll get this in here. This is my Cajun seasoning I make. I'm going to use this instead of like the red pepper. I do sell this on my Etsy store, and I will leave a link to my Etsy store in the description box. So we'll just season this up. My seasoning doesn't have a lot of salt in it. A lot of the store-bought seasoning mixes, the first ingredient is salt, and mine is not. And they also use a lot of paprika in them to get their red color. I don't have any paprika in my seasoning. It's all cayenne pepper for the red that you see. All right, we're gonna get this browned up, and then we'll add the onions once it's fully cooked. All right, so our meat is fully cooked. I've added onions in here, let them get fully cooked, and a lot of moisture will cook out of this meat. So I made sure to let that get evaporated. And so we have some residual fat down the bottom, which we need to make our roux. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a couple of tablespoons of flour to the skillet to make that roux. Just sprinkle this on top. Maybe a little bit more. We'll stir this down in there, let that cook. We don't want it to have a raw flour taste. We want it to cook. It will absorb all the moisture in the bottom. Alright, so now we're going to add 2 cups of broth. This is broth I canned with you guys. And so I can leave a card up top of that video if y'all are interested in making that. Or you can use store-bought broth. So we're adding about 2 cups of broth. I'm going to give this a stir. And it's still thicken. Turn my fire on low at this point. So now we're going to taste test it. See if our seasonings are good. This is very rich. Okay, I'm going to go in with another teaspoon of salt, for sure, and some more of the Cajun seasoning. And stir this in. You have to think about too, pie crust is a pretty bland component in this, and so you need this very well seasoned. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour that into my bowl here, let that cool before we actually make our meat pies. So we'll be back when it's time to make the meat pies. Alright, so our filling has cooled. It's not cold, it's just cooled so that it's easier to handle and it won't soften our pie dough too quickly. And the reason I've double batched this one is because I want to put some of these in the freezer. So it's a perfect freezer meal for you to have on hand. Also, if you don't use all your filling, you can freeze that also. So like I said, I bought store-bought pie crust to make this easy. I'm just going to roll this out on my counter. And I'm going to cut it into 4. So each pie crust will give me 4 pies. Of course, this probably is not the traditional. Well, I know that buying pie crust isn't, but I think the shape we end up with is probably not going to be the traditional shape. So I'm going to cut this into 4 pieces. I'm going to put some of our filling down. And like I said, it's been 20 years or so, and I don't remember exactly how I've shaped these. I'm going to get some water to glue my edges together. Water kind of mixes with the flour and then kind of makes it like a glue. So you can put water along the edge of your pie crust and it will kind of glue them together. All right, let's figure out how to fold this. That looks good. Make sure you tuck all your meat in there. And what I'm gonna do is use my fork to crimp my edges. Like that. So I kind of thought this would be a quick way to do this. I had put some paper towels on the bottom of my sheet pan with a cooling rack put them on after I fry, and then I thought I'll put parchment on here to move them to as I get them ready to fry. So we can move it over there to our parchment paper, and we can move on to our next one. So I'm gonna say it's about 2 tablespoons of filling per pie. I hope you can see this. Gotta move our filling around. Use water again to make our glue here. We'll pull our dough over, tuck our ingredients in. And you don't want to poke a hole. I'm afraid I was getting ready to do it with my fingernails there in your dough, because then it'll leak out when you're frying, and I feel like maybe I overstuffed this one. So we are going to crimp it. Maybe we need to put less next time. All right, we'll get the rest of these done, and then we'll get to frying them. All right, so we're at the end of frying here, and what I have found is if I kind of brush some of the hot oil up on the top, it makes it easier to flip so the pastry is not too fragile. So I can tip this one so it doesn't break off. Let's start with this one. All right, we're gonna stick on the asparagus. These look really good. So now I'm gonna put the broiler on for just a minute to get them browned, and then we'll shave some Parmesan over the top. All right, so here's our fried ones, and these I have extra, and I will freeze these for a meal in the future. I was able to get 20 meat pies out of that filling, and I actually have enough filling left for 2 more. But right now we're going to go ahead and shave some Parmesan on top of these asparagus. And then we'll give it all a taste test. I have my favorite pasta bowl here. Get some asparagus. Get one of these meat pies. and we will taste test this together. All right, we're gonna give this a taste test. Start with the asparagus. Very tender. I roasted these on 425, about 10 minutes, and then turn the broiler on. Not woody at all. Very good. All right, let's get this meat pie. It's already wanting to break open. It's so juicy. I don't know if you can tell how juicy it is. Get a bite. So good and rich. You can really only eat one of those. Anyway, so good. Can't wait for dinner. I hope y'all give this recipe a try, and let me know if you do, and if it turns out as good as mine just did, because mine was really good, and I don't know why I haven't made these in a long time. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.